Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 6 3-minute rounds in the super welterweight division. This bout is brought to you by Mark Nielsen of Nielsen Boxing in association with John Trethui of TM14 Promotions and their proud sponsors, Allegra and Nutravita. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, your area representative, Des Reese, and your timekeeper at the bell, Anne-Marie Randall, and your third man in charge of the action in the ring, referee Sean McAvoy. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. He's wearing the blue with white trim. His official weight of 11 stones, 13 pounds. He has a record of 8 fights, 4 losses, and 4 wins. Hailing from Portsmouth, England, United Kingdom, introducing Harley Hodgetts. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing the black trunks. His official weight of 11 stones, 3 pounds. He has a record of 10 fights, 2 losses, 8 wins, and 2 of those wins come in by way of knockout. Hailing from West Molesley, Surrey, England, United Kingdom, introducing Alfie, Ice Cold Winter.
Okay, last 6-round contest. Keep it clean at all times. Keep yourself protected at all times. Touch gloves. Here we go. Good luck, lads.
Here we go. Super welterweight contest. The very popular Alfie Winter is looking to build on that victory he had last time out against Stephen Wallace. He's brought a good crowd down with him here this evening, and Harley Hodgetts is going to be up against it. Lost his last 4 after winning his first 4. Had a 3-year break and come back and hasn't had a victory since. He's got a tough night tonight against Alfie Winter for sure.
Well, Hodgetts started the round. He'd landed a couple of quite clean shots, but, you know, Winter took them well and came back quite clean again, but he's the busier of the fighter, and yeah, I think Hodgetts might have his work cut out.
Yeah, you know, I've seen Hodgetts before, and he's a bit sneaky. He's 4-4 for a reason, because he can win a fight, and if you're not careful, he'll start stacking points on the card, and next thing you know, you're behind in the round. So it's going to be Winter who has to take control of this fight early and make sure that he's not letting rounds slip away late. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that Hodgetts, you know, when turning professional back in 2021, you looked at him and he racked up 4 victories, one after the other, and you think this kid might have some sort of future. Then he had a 3-year layoff, come back and hasn't quite been the same. But you're right, Radio, I think that the kid's definitely got potential. There is quality there, but it's just not had a good run of fortune since his comeback.
Yeah, he's good enough to take advantage if you give him openings. He's not quite there where he's creating his own openings and overcoming an opponent that's better than him. That's the margin there, right there.
And I think that's where Winter will have the advantage in being able to use his experience to be able to take control of the contest, like you were saying.
Yep, Winter did lose a first-round KO for the Southern Area title against Indabasi. That was back in July 2023. But seems to be over that one now, and he will be looking to get himself back into title contention. But he's got to come through this one first against Hodgetts.
I think it'll be good for him, though, because it's already turning out to be quite a competitive contest. And I think, you know, Hodgetts seeing this as winnable. But, you know, it'll be competitive for him if he can get the rounds under his belt. It'll stand him in good stead to come back.
Yep, I think we're in a situation here where Winter, he really does need this victory to get himself back to where he wants to be. And for Hodgetts, this is the sort of crossroads fight. Do you become a journeyman, or can you get your career back on track? That's pretty where you're at. So a lot of stake for both of these guys, and they're both having their successes here, Radio, in this opening round.
You hear the crowd also behind Winter. That's because they still see a future for him. They want good things, and he can deliver tonight on that crowd's excitement. I see the corner there. You see a Warren there in the corner with him. There's a golden path ahead if on a night like tonight he can show that he's ready for it.
Yeah, I think that he nicked that first round as well. Hodgetts, though, Priya, did have successes there. You know, he did look dangerous at times himself, and Winter has to be careful of that.
I think he needs to apply intelligent pressure, Winter. You know, he can't, like you said, he needs to stay composed, he needs to stay clean, and he needs to be smart about how he puts his work together, because I think Hodgetts has got some real sting in his punches. We can hear them at ringside, and if one of those lands, you know, at the wrong time, wrong place, then that could be, Winter could be in real trouble.
Yeah, Radio, you look at it and you say, like, look, Alfie Winter, you know, is 8-2 with 2 KOs, and you go, he's 28 years of age, and he's in a situation, probably finds himself in a situation where these sort of opponents really, if you're looking at title contention, getting yourself in the mix, you have to win these.
You have to win them, and I'd say you have to win them a bit impressively, because Hodgetts is going to keep Winter honest. He's not just going to let Winter walk in and do whatever he wants. As you see there, he'll start offense if you let him sit too long. He's not going to wait on Winter to come to him. So this will be a good test, not just for Winter as what he's able to do in there, but how easily he's able to figure Hodgetts out in the span of 6 rounds and look impressive doing it.
Yeah, well, Hodgetts has taken center of the ring there, but as he leads off for the jab, he holds his feet and he reaches with that right hand. That's what Winter needs to expose there. He needs to take half a step back and capitalise on that, because Hodgetts, leaning over his front foot, leaves himself vulnerable for a number of shots.
Those are 2 huge openings that you've identified there, Spence. And like you say, if he's ready for the next levels, that Winter is, he should take advantage of both.
I think Winter's really using his jab well to create those openings as well. His jab's landing really crisp and clean, and that's only going to set him up nicely for a rear hand like he's just thrown.
Well, I think what's happened here, guys, is that Winter has decided now to box on the back foot, create that space himself, and that is creating the opportunities. He's finding the openings, because Hodgetts is coming forward, but a little one-dimensional and maybe a little bit leaving himself open a little bit when doing that. He's throwing those shots. He's not moving off the line at all, and he's leaving himself in the pocket for the shots to be countered.
But you can still see Hodgetts is still dangerous. He's just clipped Winter with a clean rear hand on the ropes, and, you know, Winter needs to be careful of those.
And not let Hodgetts rough him up inside like that. I mean, his arms were free. I'd like to see some shots, little short shots to the midsection to let Hodgetts know we're not here to hug.
That's good work there, doubling up the left hook to the body there from Winter and trying to create the opening for the uppercuts as well. There's a lot to like about Winter. He does some nice little moves.
We saw he's actually quite, just slightly earlier on in the round, he was looking quite relaxed and stylish, and he was moving off at his angles and putting punches together off the angle as well, which is, you know, probably credit to the experience that he's had as an amateur. You know, he's learnt his trade there, and I think he's putting it together quite well.
I don't like that Hodgetts is putting Winter on the back foot so easily. He's just kind of, you know, easing forward, and Winter's is giving that ground. Winter should meet that with a jab. Make sure that Hodgetts knows that he is the one, the ring general in here, dictating the pace and dictating the distance.
Well, you can control that pace on the back foot, actually, because you can control the space on the back foot, and that creates that opportunity. And what Winter's doing and maybe not doing right is, like, he's moving too much. He doesn't need to be moving as much as he is, because if he's controlling the space, he's just got to be just out of range. And then Hodgetts, as we've seen in the opening round, when he throws his shots, he leans over his front foot. That's why you control the space here, and you can make the fight quite easy by doing that. Just, you know, you don't have to move too far away, just out of range, you know, just half an arm out of range so that you can come back and counter quickly. But another round there maybe for Alfie Winter. I think he's doing the better work, even though he's on the back foot. I think he's being creative enough, he's working the angles enough, and for me, Hodgetts maybe just a little bit one-dimensional in that round, and for me, Winter doing enough.
I think Winter's certainly got a lot more tools in the box. You know, he's able to move, he's able to punch from any angle. He's able to move in any direction. And like you said, I think Hodgetts is slightly one-dimensional, and that might be his downfall. There were times in the round where Hodgetts did put some pressure on Winter, and Winter didn't like it. But I do think that he's got the skill set to be able to get himself out of that trouble too.
Yeah, I think for Hodgetts, if he wants to get himself in this one, he's got the physicalities because he seems to have the size here and the strength. And you've got to use that. Sometimes it's not about the skill set here because Winter is the better boxer. He has the better boxing IQ. You've got to use the tools that you've got to your advantage. And Winter's doing that at the moment. And that's why he's being a little bit more creative, controlling that space a bit more. Whereas if I'm Hodgetts now, I'm going, right, it's time to roll the dice here, throw the kitchen sink, everything I've got, and take the gamble. And I think that's pretty much where he's at, like what he's doing there.
Exactly, that was a really nice clipping left hook from Hodgetts. Don't think Winter can afford to take too many of those. And again, he's thrown the rear hand and left hook, and they've landed nice and clean.
Yeah. Your point, Spence, it's not about the skill set, it's about the adjustments. And I hope in the corner he's been told at least half of what you've said here at ringside, because that's the instruction he needs. If Winter can make these adjustments, you have rightly pointed out, he can make this fight a lot easier for himself.
Absolutely, and I think for Hodgetts, I think that he's had that telling off in the corner, to put it nicely. That wouldn't have been the words they've used in the corner, but there's more urgency around his work, because you go, right, what I'm lacking here in skill set, boxing IQ, I've got to use my advantages, and that is the physical strength, because he is clearly the stronger of the two, and it's working for him in this round because he's having a much better round.
He is, and he's not flashy, but he is durable, so he is soaking up what Winter's throwing at him, and he is coming back. So, you know, can't underestimate him at all, just because Winter might be looking like the more stylish fighter in there.
One thing I like is now on the inside you're seeing body shots from Winters instead of just allowing himself to be tied up by Hodgetts. That's a major difference and can turn the tide in this fight. You hit him in the body, you push him off, and then you get reset and go back to working your business. That's how you win these rounds convincingly.
Yep, this is going to become a tough night here, though. This will come down to the psychological side of things as opposed to the physicalities, because I think that the physicalities at the moment are with Hodgetts, and he's using them, and he's winning the fight because of that. And Winter is going to have to use that mental strength to bite down and come back here.
He's already got some swelling under the right eye, Winter, so, you know, he's obviously being hit clean.
Yeah, this is a good round from Harley Hodgetts, and he needed that, because Winter, for me, taking the first two on my scorecard, but he's had a good round, Hodgetts, and he's letting some good shots go, and he's starting to load up a little bit here.
Nice clean shots to the body. If Winter could follow up those clean shots to the body as he drops Hodgetts' hands a little bit and gets some work going upstairs, that's the rhythm of the fight I think he'd prefer.
I think both guys are starting to feel the pace a little bit here as well.
I think you're right with the body shots, though, because, you know, that'll also slow Hodgetts down, and to be fair, you know, if he's got a high work rate and is durable.
Ooh. I tell you what, that was a massive right hand there, and he felt that there, Winter. It was a delayed reaction. He felt that shot, and as he walks back to the corner, he looks a little on unsteady legs, and Hodgetts now, his corner has sensed it as well. They are trying to pump this kid up because they feel that this could be the turning of the tide, and it's going to be a tough conversation they're having in the Winter corner here.
That right hand is evidence of that 4-4 record. That's what I'm talking about. If you see his openings, he will take them. He will put you to the test, and if you give him opportunities, he'll seize on them. This is a good scrap for Winter. He's well ahead on my card. However, in these next two rounds, if he's not careful, I tell you, Hodgetts can make a real play for the judge's decision.
I think it'll be interesting to see how Winter recovers from that as well. So, you know, we'll see what he's actually able to recover from. Like Hodgetts, if he'd had another 30 seconds in that round, that could have actually spelled the end of it.
And he's actually got 3 more rounds to get this work done. Hodgetts does. It's an interesting turning of the tide right now. Winter needs to get this fight back in control.
I tell you what, this could be a key round, this, because it depends how Winter deals with that, because that was a torrid last 30 seconds that he had there. The eyes swelling as well, so it's going to show a lot of character to turn this back in his advantage, because he had the first couple of rounds were an advantage, but Hodgetts feels like he's got a new lease of life here, because he had a great spell in that third round.
There's blood coming from the nose of Winter as well, and Hodgetts is definitely trying to capitalise on the injuries that he's caused so far.
Yeah, that was that straight right hand right on the final of the bell there, and you saw Winter saw the legs just stiffen a little bit, and there was a slow walk back to the corner, and you just wonder if he's recovered from that shot yet.
And you see so much more confidence on Hodgetts' punches. This is exactly what I was describing from the beginning. If he wins this round, now we're looking at an even fight going into the final two. This is how Hodgetts can get victories, even over fighters that might be better than him.
Well, Hodgetts is just trying to rough him up at the moment in there. He's doing everything he can. Big right hand again, and I'll tell you what, Winter felt that one. That went straight down the pipe.
Harley, come on, son. That's it.
Winter has badly marked up the left eye and the right eye, both swelling down. There's a cut underneath the left eye there. There's bad swelling. That was from that right hand down the middle, and he's having a tough time in there at the moment, Winter.
This is the kind of post-fight press conference you've been to, Spence, where the fighter says, look at the other guy. How could I possibly have lost? If this fight keeps going that way, it'll be difficult to see how Winter reconciles the markings on his face with the card that's gone his way.
I mean, his left eye is almost closed up, so, you know, Harley Hodgetts is proving that he can be such a dangerous fighter, and he's still looking the more composed out of the two.
Yep, the right hand through the middle was the shot that done that for Alfie Winter. Bad swelling under the eye, and it's been another bad round for him as well. Hodgetts is all over him, using that physical strength to his advantage in the corner, really trying to G him up there as well.
Right, because he's actually getting a little bit of rest with every one of those clinches and then going right back to work. And it's Winter who looks worse for the wear.
Yeah, he's got big problems with that eye now. I'm not sure he can even see out of that. That left eye is swollen up terribly, and there's a bad cut on it as well. And the right hand through the middle again. Winter leaving himself open, carrying that left hand low, and he's digging deep here, and he's going to have to.
Well, your mate Simon Jordan likes to say, questions are being asked of him. Questions are being asked of Winter tonight, and in this next round, he's going to have to start answering them.
Yep, totally agree with that. His face is a mess, and the corner are going to have to do a good job in there.
His left eye pretty much looks closed up. I'd be surprised if he can even see out of that right now. I mean, Hodgetts really put his punches together nicely. He landed accurately, he was clean, he was strong. And, you know, I think he's turning the tide, if not on the scorecards, then definitely in the mindset of Alfie Winter.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I think that
Hodgetts has... Go ahead.
And I'm saying Alfie Winter has to go soul searching now. You know, it's one of those fights where you go, right, I've got to, it's not going my way and I've got to turn this around. He's literally can't see out that eye. The referee's going to have to take a look at that as well, you know, because the vision is a problem there, and he will not see those shots coming. There you go, referee. He's going to take a look at that eye, just as I thought, because it got terribly worse. The swelling under there is bad.
If I'm Hodgetts and this fight continues, all I'm looking for is the right hand to that left eye.
He can't see out of that eye. No, I think the doctor just asked him, can he see? He said, I can see, and the doctor put his finger up and he couldn't see it. And that was a bad result there for Alfie Winter, who was looking to get his career back on track. And he just goes and loses there to Harley Hodgetts, who hasn't won a fight since he come back after a 3-year layoff. He's had 4 losses on the bounce, but Priya gets the victory tonight against the capable Alfie Winter.
As I said, Spence, and I just hate patting myself on the back, but every time we come here to your call on these TM14 Nielsen boxing shows, they're so evenly matched and well matched. You get questions asked of opponents who are on the A side. You'll get an upset every time. You never know who it's going to be, but that upset will come, and tonight it's come in the form of Harley Hodgetts.
Absolutely, and you know, Alfie Winter, you know, he looked like the more skillful. He was the more skillful fighter at the beginning of that, but you know, it was a testament to Hodgetts' durability and his punch power that he was actually able to turn the tide on that. I think Alfie Winter probably, you know, wholly demoralised for losing in the way that he lost, but that's boxing.
What do you tell Alfie Winter when you get back to the locker room, Spence?
Well, it's what he tells himself, because I think that's the conversation he has to have with himself. You know, do I want this? Do I need this? You know, and if he does, you know, like, look, it's his third loss. It's his third loss. That means nothing. You look at someone like Derek Chisora, who's 41, who's had 13 losses, and look what he's doing with his career, and look where he's gone. He's gone back, he's reinvented himself, he's come back. So Alfie Winter can do the same, but he has to ask himself them questions, and he needs to give himself some truthful answers, you know, and the people around him as well, because I don't know what's going on, you know, with him, where he's at in his career or whatnot, but there's still a future there for sure, but he has to be honest with himself.
Round number 5, your winner by TKO, Harley Hodgetts.
Harley, congratulations on that win. How are you feeling?
I'm over the moon, to be fair. My last few haven't gone my way. I won't stand there and say reasons for it, but there were a few reasons. I felt good today on the scales. I've done the weight properly, and yeah, back to winning ways.
Yeah, it was a really, really dominant display in there. Obviously, Alfie Winter was putting in such graft throughout those rounds. You know, what were some of the adjustments that you were making as the rounds went on?
I felt like I was just getting stronger as the rounds went on. Even though I may have looked a bit tired, I felt like I was coming on more than him. So yeah, Mike was telling me in the corner, you just got to put your shots together. You've been on the end of a losing few in the last few, so you need to get that winning momentum back, which I've done today.
I could see in your corner there, your coach was, you know, he was really so engaged, so focused, so into it. And obviously what he said, the advice he gave you really worked, because of course Alfie was on the receiving end of a few very accurate shots, which resulted in, you know, the stoppage.
Of course, like I just said, I want to get back to winning ways after losing a few. I didn't want to come in here and just people coming here like telling me when I first turned up, you're going to come and have a go today. Of course I am. I'm not coming here to turn over and roll over. Like, win, lose or draw, I will put everything I've got into that ring, and you've seen it tonight.
With Alfie being so elusive, at the beginning of the fight, he's using his movement, head movement. But what was it that made you feel comfortable to lead with your right hand like that? You was getting success with it all night.
It's something we've done in the gym quite a lot, actually, leading with the right hand, double right hands. Trying to lean over with the right hand, left hook to the body, which I didn't throw a lot tonight, which we'll go back to the gym and improve on that. But like I just said, I felt like I could walk through his power, and our tight guard walked through. I felt like he was getting weaker and I was getting stronger as the rounds were going on. And yeah, we got the stoppage.
It was brilliant. The accuracy was telling. Brilliant.
As you said, you know, back to winning ways. You've come off a few losses. The win tonight, sum up what it means to you.
Like I said at the beginning, I'm over the moon. Back to winning ways. Sort of forgot what that feeling was, because it's been a few years since I've won. I had a couple of years out, come back, headlined here against Finley James. Then I've had a few on the road. Don't get me wrong, I was trying to win, but tonight makes it ever so more special. First one on the road as the away fighter, and getting a stoppage win. Beautiful.
It really is. Listen, we're so happy for you. So happy to see you back in action, back to winning ways. As you say, can't wait to see what you do next.
Lovely, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well done.